Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble!
You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Oh!
Derek's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, it's Mr. FSP. Do what I do because I do for you all day, every day. Now, look, it's officially week one in the NFL. And in years past, I would normally do this on a Saturday, and I would get some traction. But then I thought about it. I said, you know what? Saturday's for college football. So earlier this summer, I said I was going to move to Sundays and do the show. And I've been experimenting with the offensive IOPs, individual offensive players. And we found a home right here, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern, Sunday mornings for Fantasy Sports and Politics. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to break down the games and give you your fantasy relevant players. I cannot guarantee what's going to happen. I can only say what I think is going to happen based upon the information I have, based upon what has gone on. Things are breaking while I'm live on air, so I may give you something different than what I had planned to give you. But the point is, I'm going to give you information. You use it. Set your rosters. Do whatever it is you need to do. And for those that are going to the church of NFL, we're going to praise Jesus. And then we're going to praise the athletes that entertain us all day. And then tomorrow night. On Tuesdays, I'll try to do a breakdown of all the games that happen over the week and prepare you for what's going to happen the following week. I'm going to try. But today, let's get into it, okay? If you want to be involved, always, as usual, jump in on the chat. If you want to actually get involved and be on screen, send me a private message with your email. I'll let you on. But be prepared to defend your thoughts. Okay? It is what it is. It's about that time. So let's hit that music. Yeah. I like that music. I really do. Let's get to these comments. I'll show them as they come up, just to show you if they do. First game on the docket happens to be a big game, even though it's week one. We already had two big games. Cowboys, Eagles, CeeDee Lamb lovers. You can't be mad. He gave you over 100 and something yards. Probably what, 15 points or something like that. But those drops at the end of the game were huge for the Cowboys. Jalen Hurts being Jalen Hurts, getting those touchdowns. Saquon got one, but he's already at a deficit, 2-1. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith owners. I got a feeling that's going to be the norm. I think Jahad Dotson, who was a former commander, has found his way into their system. Is going to be a big threat as their three wide receiver set. Him and Dallas Goedert are probably going to eat the most until A.J. Brown stops reading that book. Devontae Smith is happy. He's getting paid. And he's part of the system. Both, I noticed, were very good blockers. Very good blockers. But blocking doesn't get you fantasy points. It absolutely does not. But the Eagles came out with the W, as I stated they would previously. And I don't know what to tell you, but fly Eagles fly. The Cowboys exploited the hole in the middle. Is Javonte Williams somebody you're looking to get off of waivers? Is he worth it? I think so. Miles Sanders proved why he's not starting anywhere. Great play and a fumble. Then we go to the Chargers and the Chiefs. I don't think anybody expected the Chargers to throw the ball around like they did, like the Chargers of the past. We thought, at least I did, they were going to pound Hampton, and with Najee back, pound him too. No. Justin Herbert leads the league. I know it's only 2 games played. Leads the league in passing and touchdowns. Is Quentin Johnson going to be that much better now that he's not the number 1 guy? Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert are best buds again. The Chiefs have lost their number 1 receiver to suspension for at least 8 games, 6 to 8 games. Worthy dislocated shoulder. He's already a $160, $170. How long is that gonna last? Can Hollywood Brown stay healthy? Travis Kelce's gonna have to pick up slack yet again. He did, but Isaiah Pacheco has to be used more. The Chiefs tried it, but the Chargers were just overpowering all game. I know my boy Torrey Felix is like, go Chargers, go. And I'm like, bro, you know what you know. Chargers beat the Chiefs. I was wrong on that. But I did say the Chargers are going to make the playoffs. I also said the Chargers are going to finish second in the, I said they're going to finish second or third in the West behind the Broncos. We'll see. We'll see. Here we go. Atlanta goes to Tampa Bay. First game has consequences. It's a divisional game. The NFL knew what it was doing, making divisional games for rivalries week 1. Welcome back to football. Michael Penix takes over the reins. Is he more dynamic than Kirk Cousins? He's younger, a little bit more athletic, but he's also had some injury issues throughout his college career. He started with the last 3 to 4 games in Atlanta. Not a bad thing, because you saw the chemistry was there already. Has had a whole summer in spring to work with London, Mooney, McLeod, Pitts, Bijan, and Algier. Offensive line is doing what it does. The Falcons went out and they bought all the way in on the defensive side of the ball. Hedge rushers coming, head hunting. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay didn't make too many big splashes. Bucky Irving becomes the starting running back, and White is the backup. I think you'll still see White. But Bucky Irving is a young kid with power, speed, that can catch. White can do it as well, but I think it's going to be a shared backfield situation there. So you get what you get. Cade Otton He accounted for 1/3 of Baker Mayfield's 41 touchdowns last year. That's a lot. He and Mike Evans were the touchdown makers for Baker Mayfield. Now you add Ibuka in there. With Chris Godwin down, at least for 4 weeks, does Ibuka make a splash? Big play potential. That defense in Tampa Bay. What can I say? But I will say this. Even in preseason, the tight end position exploited that defense. That was absolutely did. So I expect Kyle Pitts to have a big game. I expect Drake London to have a big game. They're going to play man to man. They're going to come. They're going to bring the house. I have no reason to believe that they're going to change their style. Tampa. But I got to give it to Atlanta. I got Atlanta winning this game. Your usual suspects are your plays, but the hidden gem is Cade Otton. You might have like a lower tier tight end. I expect Cade to get at least 5 catches in this game. At least 5. Baker loves the tight end. I'm telling you. Mark my words. Game 2. Let's talk about it. Game 2, we see the, oh my goodness, I had it already. The Cincinnati Bengals headed to Cleveland. Hey, Denzel Ward, because you named after Denzel Washington. He recently reiterated that his name is Denzel, not Denzel. So Denzel Ward. Don't talk up Jamar, because now you're gonna have to back it up, bro. That's not gonna be easy. Not at all. And you know Joe Burrow's gonna throw to him a lot. In Cleveland, here's the deal. Tillman becomes the number 1 receiver in Cleveland with Jerry Jeudy. Well, Jerry Jeudy number 1, Tillman number 2. Njoku, another good play here. I'm telling you, very good play here. But then you got Ford at running back. Is Shamar Stewart and Hendricks going to get after him? The quarterback, Joe Flacco, the 40-year-old, who I predict will be probably hurt by or after the Ravens game. Can they get after him? I'm telling you, I don't believe in Cincinnati's defense. Absolutely do not. Not at all. I don't think Cincinnati's defense is good enough, and that's why, even though the Bengals averaged over 30 points a game, or almost 30 points a game last year, they still ended up with a 5-12 record, or something like that. Cleveland is on the rise, but you don't stoke the fire that is Jamar Chase. And Joe Burrow, last year, comeback player of the year. If you notice, Joe Burrow, good season, bad season, meaning hurt, not hurt. In the viewpoint of one person, he will be a bust every other year, even though we know Joe Burrow is never a bust. But that's the logic of other people. I'm going to tell you, the Bengals are going to run roughshod over Cleveland, but because their defense is so bad, it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I look for T. Higgins to go over 100 yards. Chris Brown, look, everybody had him as this, except for me, had him as a top 12 any first round pick. I didn't. I don't think that offensive line is ready or able to run the ball the way they need to run the ball to protect Joe Burrow, especially against Cleveland's defense. Cleveland upgraded that defense. The problem I see is Jerry Jeudy's inconsistent. Tillman, who I loved coming out of the University of Tennessee a year or so ago, can he step up? Can he be that dog to help Artel Njoku? And Ford has that job until Jenkins gets into shape. So Ford has that job for maybe 3 weeks? Because Quinton Jenkins, I should say, just signed his contract a couple days ago. He will be playing in 2-3 weeks once they get him in shape and he demonstrates he knows enough. That's a big thing, I'm telling you. Huge. But Cincinnati will win this game. This will be one of the few games Cincinnati wins this year. I can't tell you Cincinnati's going to be a powerhouse. Some people have Cincinnati going to the playoffs. I don't have Cincinnati winning over 7 games because of that defense. Now, if that defense steps up and bones up, they might win 8-9. All you guys that have Cincinnati in the playoffs and has Joe Burrow as the MVP, remember what I said. Joe Burrow has a history, like the Dow Jones average, going up and down, up and down. One year he's great, the next year he's hurt. One year he's great, the next year he's hurt. Last year he was great. What's going to happen this year? Offensive line, step up and protect the quarterback so you guys can have this franchise that's a continual, habitual winner. You're not yet. Next game. Look, here's the shocker. Some of you guys drafted Devon Achane in the first round. You drafted him over Josh Jacobs. You drafted him over Kyren Williams because of the upside, and I get it. But I noticed early on in the summer, there is a lot of dysfunction in Miami. And I'm not just talking about Tyreek Hill and Tua. I'm talking about the team. I don't like what Miami has done. I like the fact they got Waller, but Waller's out. Waller's not playing. Tyreek's dealing with the return from a pectoral issue or something like that. Not good. Jalen Waddle is the only real healthy receiver. And now, if Devon Achane does not play, which it looks like he's not, you got Mr. Gordon. Nobody drafted Gordon. And I guarantee you, once the final starts and sits come out, people are going to go try to snag him off of waivers. Why? Because CMC might not play today. But if you draft it, and of course, if you got a chain, you might want to get his handcuff. I drafted CMC in a couple of leagues, but I didn't draft his handcuff, which is Brian Robinson, former Commander. That's because I drafted other players that had similar styles that I can plug in. I'm not worried. People want to worry about CMC. I don't. Because you already know you need to adjust your roster if you draft him. Either get his handcuff or you load up on running backs that can fit the bill. But with Devon Achane, you didn't see this coming. Gordon might start, and against this Indianapolis defense, He should have a good game. Flip it over. Indianapolis. Danny Dimes starts instead of Richardson. This is massive for you Michael Pittman owners. I'm telling you to start Michael Pittman. Miami's secondary is boo-boo. I know Mika Fitzpatrick is back there. Corners. The corners. No. This is a game where I'm telling you, Loveland and Pittman, maybe even Alec Pierce, are going to have big games. But Pittman for sure. I didn't say Jonathan Taylor because I believe Miami has a decent run-stopping defense, but their pass defense, terrible. And Danny Dimes is a mobile quarterback. So you can get him and Taylor in a read option situation, and the ball's not going to be in the dirt throwing to Pittman or throwing to Downs or Alec Pierce or Loveland. Did Loveland go to Chicago or did Loveland go to Indy? Whichever one went to freaking Indy, that's the tight end you want to play. That's the tight end you want to play. He's got to eat. He's got to eat. Big time. Against his Miami secondary. I'm telling you. I think Loveland went to Cleveland. I mean, went to Chicago. So it's the other tight end. Sorry, guys. But Pittman, if I have Pittman on my roster and I have an okay receiving core, I'm starting him today. If I have a question at my flex position, I'm starting him today in flex. Plain and simple. Don't be surprised if Danny Dimes gets over like 250 throwing. Don't be surprised. But Miami's going to win this game. I believe that Tua and Tyreek and Waddle are a little too much for the Colts defense. Jameer Franklin and all them, they're good. No disputing that. But Miami is just that much better, than Indy in my book. I got Miami winning the game. Next game on the docket, we got Carolina Jacksonville. Carolina came on strong last year at the end of the year. Bryce Young showed why he was selected number 1 overall. I don't know if it was a simplification of the offense or the fact that he saw what the Red Rifle was doing, and he's a good study because he came back in and started picking up where the Red Rifle left off, and the Cardinals were winning. I mean, not the Cardinals. The Panthers were winning, or this close from winning. Now what they did was they traded away Adam Thielen to Minnesota. That leaves Xavier Leggett as the number 1 guy down there, along with Hunter Renfrow. I love Hunter Renfrow. Get him if you can, and you need a receiver on your lineup that will be a PPR guy. Hunter Renfrow will be fine. Xavier Leggett has to prove it. Then they went out and drafted the young stud out of Arizona. Questionable, but I think he's going to play. Let's not forget Chuba Hubbard. At least we forget. Well, my sleeper in this game is going to be Hunter Renfrow because I think if he's the number 3, he's going to pick up a lot of those balls that Thielen was going to get. The young guy, he's going to get the jump balls, contested balls. Him versus Travis is going to be an interesting thing to see. I'm telling you. Travis is not going to be on Leggett because Leggett hasn't proven that he can be consistent. I'm telling you. But with that being the case, the absence of Thielen, who ended up becoming Young's security blanket, is going to loom large. Duval, as the head coach of Jacksonville did. Look, man, I'm going to tease you about that all year. I like you, but I'm going to tease you about it, right? Travis Hunter is the number 2 receiver with Brian Robinson. Look, Brian Thompson Jr. That dude is no joke. And you have both of them now. And Travis Etienne is on the side of the Panthers. And his brother is Travis Etienne is on Jacksonville. Trevor Etienne is in Carolina. Maybe you see a little bit. But Travis Etienne and Tank Williams are a great 1-2 punch. Sunshine. So he returns to the Carolinas. Clemson is where he went. But he doesn't have Renfro, who was his receiver at Clemson, or anyone else to just jump up there and get the ball for him. He doesn't have that. Robinson is that type of player. But this is the NFL. You just can't do jump ball. Like jump man. No. Jacksonville will win this game. I think it's going to be a close game. But it's the battle of expansion teams. Both teams came in at the same time. Both teams ended up in the respective championship game for the conference. Carolina actually went to the Super Bowl, I think year two of existence. Jacksonville was almost there. Now for Tom effing Brady. And Blake Bortles just overthrowing by that much. But what I'm telling you is, you have Freaky Fred Taylor, you have Mark Brunell, Keenan McCardle, Keenan Smith. I'm telling you, that was the teams back then. New era. First time I think they've played since. Like, what? 6 years, something like that? I expect Jacksonville, with all their weaponry, to do what Jacksonville does when they play an opponent that's less than them. Play down to them, but beat them. What do I expect Travis Hunter to do? I expect to have at least 1 or 2 pass defense and maybe 5 to 6 targets during the game. Is that a good stat line? No. But it depends on what he does with those targets. You can't play him, well, in some leagues where you can designate multiple positions, and even if you draft them in an IDP, there was wide receiver and DB on the side. But just like Ohtani, Yahoo does this. Yahoo says you can draft him as a batter and you can draft him as a pitcher. So that's what they did with Travis Hunter. You can draft him as a receiver and you can draft him as a DB. I think you get more value out of him, especially in this game, as a receiver. Will he start sometimes on defense side and play more there than offense? Maybe in big games where they need somebody to lock down a star receiver. You don't need that in this game. You don't. I don't expect Travis Hunter to have a huge game. I expect Travis Etienne to have a good game. So people want to say Tank Bigsby's gonna, do it. I don't think so. Tank will have his moments, but I think the main breadwinner in that backfield is gonna be Etienne, contract year. He's gonna be going somewhere else next year. I don't think Jacksonville re-signs him. But we'll see. Moving on. Next game. The Raiders of New England. I told you guys, I believe the Patriots are going to go to the playoffs. Their schedule dictates it to me. Their talent level dictates it to me, especially on the defensive side. And I love the addition of Stephon Diggs and Henderson, the rookie, to the offensive side of the ball. Drake May is a dual threat quarterback. Say what you want about Stephon Diggs, but he can help develop the quarterback. Give them that security. You might yell at him a little bit, but for like 3 to 4 years, he's their security. So, in this game, excuse me, we have a problem. Max Crosby is going to be going up against a rookie offensive lineman all game. At least I would think that's the game plan. No bueno. So you know what you do? You test out those Raiders linebackers, because Jermaine Pratt, who was with the Bengals, is now starting linebacker for the Raiders. Spillane, who used to be a starting linebacker for the Raiders, is now a starting linebacker for the Patriots. Stop. But I like Drake May in this game versus that Raiders secondary. Hence, I like Stephon Diggs. I also like the tight ends. I don't think this is going to be a game of snot-nosed, run, knock them down, drag them out type game. I don't think so. I actually think this is going to be a passing game. And for those of you that drafted Henderson high, and I've seen Ramondre Stevens on waivers in some leagues. I want you to really think about that. Mike Vrabel will use him, but he's not going to overuse him that way. Yes, if Henderson is on kickoff return, that's an extra bonus for you, an opportunity. But don't get it twisted. Ramondre Stevens just got paid. They're going to use him because he just got paid. They're going to bleed in Henderson, no doubt. I look at it as like the Tampa Bay situation, where Bucky Irvin started to gradually take carries away from White, and now is a starter. That might happen here, but Ramondre Stevens is going to run into the end zone in this game for the Patriots. That's my sleeper. Believe it or not, a back that was a starter, is a starter, but maybe not even drafted, or drafted extremely late. Yeah, I got that. Now let's look at the defenses of both teams. We talked about Max Crosby going against a rookie on the Patriots offensive line. Let's talk about the Raiders offensive line. It ain't that good, fellas. If you're expecting Gentry to go out and have a monster game, pump your brakes. Pump them. The Patriots spent a lot of money on the defense. In fact, the Patriots spent the most money in free agency this year, by far. Mostly on defense. One and two linebackers. Harold Landry, who's going to come after Geno, and Spillane, who can stop the run. He practiced against those guys for the last, 3-4 years. Now, the Patriots are going to be without Gonzalez at cornerback, a big blow. But I like Dugan and the rest of the secondary to pick up the slack versus Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. Thornton Jr., the receiver, tall receiver. Geno likes throwing it to him, especially in the red zone. I would not be surprised if Thornton gets a touchdown. If he and Brock Bowers leads the team in receiving touchdowns this year. You can't coach height. You can't. And he's got good hands. But if Gonzalez was playing, I'd be like, okay, yeah. But you gotta look out for that, right? But Geno, he threw the ball 55 times when he was with Seattle when they played the Patriots last year, I believe. Totally different defense. Totally different set of people, man. Don't bank on Geno. Do not start Geno in this game. I think Geno is going to have maybe 1 or 2 picks. I really do. That's how good I think the Patriots defense is. Geno doesn't really make that many mistakes, but I think he's going to be forced to make some mistakes in this game. Mike Vrabel is a hell of a coach, and defense is his forte. Do not play Geno. Patriots in this game all day. The team that I live in the city of. Now, I'm a Commanders fan. I am a Commanders fan all day, every day. I'm also a Cardinals fan because I live in the city of Phoenix and I like Kyler Murray. And the energy's good. If I lived in Dallas, I've lived in Texas before. I'd be a Houston, Texas fan no matter where I was. Never be a Cowboy, ever. Ever. But the Cardinals are going on the road to face a New Orleans Saints team that could have a legit threat at quarterback starting for them. Instead, they drafted a guy that couldn't beat out Spencer Rattler. I liked Spencer Rattler when he was at OU, but Spencer Rattler lost his job to a freshman 4 games into the season at OU. Went on to be the Heisman Trophy winner later on, Caleb Williams. But I want you to understand something. Spencer Rattler lost his job to a freshman 4 games into the season. Transferred to South Carolina. Didn't do that great there. Plays in the NFL last year. Back and forth. Looked bad. Didn't look that bad this preseason, but did not look that good either. But he looked the best out of what they had. New Orleans, you could have had Shador. I'm going to keep saying it. Chris Olave, he's been playing. He's going to get targets, yeah. Rashid Shaheed, he's going to get targets too downfield. Alvin Kamara will get the ball. Usami Nicely, not for sure. Some people want to play Kendre Miller. I say pump your brakes on Kendre Miller. Don't play Kendre Miller in your starting position. If you have a situation whereas you got to flex somebody out because of injury, whatever, and you got Kendre Miller, okay, you can play him. Don't expect a lot from him, but you can play him. I wouldn't. But the main factor here is Spencer Rattler. I'm going to tell you to play the Cardinals defense against the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to tell you that off the rip. I expect 1-2 turnovers in this game for the Cardinals. I do. The defense is not that good for the Saints. I expect Kyler Murray to get over 250 yards passing. If he throws the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr., expect Marvin to go over 100 receiving. Get in the end zone too. Mr. Connor's 2 touchdowns. Receiving, running, he's going to have 2. I don't expect Wilson to have that great of a game. But you know who I do expect to have a great game? McBride. McBride will have 7 to 10 receptions. I didn't say targets. I said receptions. Will he get a touchdown? It depends. It really depends. I think, like I said, Connor's going to get that goal line work, man. And they'll throw a fade to Marvin and maybe a corner to McBride. But I expect McBride to eat up all that yardage. All that yardage. And when it comes to the end zone, hopefully Kyler throws it up to him. But I expect Connor and Harrison Jr. to take those. Now, Mr. Benson. I saw him live at preseason game versus Kansas City. And he looked better. I'm not playing him, but I keep my eye on him if I would be. I keep my eye on him if I would be. I'm definitely taking the Cardinals in this game. Definitely. Next up, Pitt at the Jets. Now look, let's just be honest. Old Man River wants to prove a point. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers. Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, Washington, triple tight end set coming in. Jaylen Warren. Jaylen Warren should have one hell of a game this game. Now, the Jets have a strong defense, at least players. I expect them to be coming after Old Man Rodgers left and right. Is Sauce going to be able to stay up with DK when they go one-on-one? Sauce is a very, very talented DB. I love him. But he ain't as big and physical as DK. Right? But the key here for me is, what does Justin Fields do? Justin Fields will run around, but that Pittsburgh Steelers defense will knock him out. He better be careful. They might be going to, what's my man, Tyrod Taylor a lot sooner this game than they plan to later on in the year. That's how bad I think Pittsburgh's defense, it is bad as in good. I think they're going to be headhunting and monsters in this game. I caution you. And I did this too because only in one league, I drafted Garrett Wilson. I drafted him like in the 4th or 5th round. Because I don't trust Justin Fields passing to the number 1 receiver. He had Pickens in Pittsburgh. Didn't use him. Breece Hall and the other young running back, I expect them to get the ball a lot. I expect them to get check downs. I have no high hopes for the receiving corps. So you got Garrett Wilson and Adam Lazard. Aaron Rodgers played who he brought in and then left, but Lazard stayed under contract. I really don't think you're going to see much out of them. I see Justin Fields probably getting maybe 150 yards passing. More passing touchdowns to your receivers. Maybe to the tight end, maybe to the running back. But I see Breece Hall getting a lot of touches. And in PPR, that counts. He's going to get over 20 touches. 20 touches. Will he get in the end zone? I don't know. I got that much faith in Pittsburgh's defense, dude. A lot of faith in Pittsburgh's defense. Of course I'm picking Pittsburgh. Crazy. Next game. Oh. Commanders. And I've already bought my retro Commanders jersey, what happens to be the Redskins. Gotta say that because that's what it is. Throwback jersey of Jaden Daniels. I got Mr. Terry McLaurin. Thank you to my friend Javier Paris. This was a birthday gift. Terry McLaurin. We are hosting, and I said we are hosting the New York Football Giants. Now look, this isn't going to be an easy game. Malik Neighbors is a beast, and he finally has a quarterback. Well, last year he had several, but he has Russ. Russ can put the ball where it needs to go. and Rusty throw the ball out there. And I don't know if Lattimore is going to be the main guy on him or Sanders still, but that's going to be a matchup to watch. The Giants' offensive line versus the Commanders' blitz packages. Von Miller's coming. Frankie Louvu's coming. They're going to plug up the hole in the middle on passing downs. Running, Bobby's got him. I worry about Latimer staying with Neighbors. Now, who's the starting running back? Is it Taylor? Is Cam Scatterboo going to be sprinkled in there? If he is, I love Cam Scatterboo. I do. Absolutely love him. He has the heart of a lion. But will that translate in the NFL? I think it will. I think it will. But he didn't win the starting job because hamstring injuries. All these types of things that hold a young guy back. But next year, watch out for Cam Scatterboo. I'm telling you. Watch out for him. In this game, Jaden Daniels is going to have to run his ass off. I love the Giants' defense. I hate the Giants, but I love the defense. Look, man, the RPO has got to be ineffective, but you got two monsters. Well, one proven monster, Thibodeau, one supposed going to be a monster, Abdul Carter, Lawrence in the middle. You got Okereke at linebacker. Decent corners. This is going to be a close game. They're coming after Jaden. With Brian Robinson gone, the Commanders are relying on Austin Eckler to be that starting tailback. They're going to mix in Chris Rodriguez. That young kid that flashed in the preseason, he goes by Bill, but he has like 3 names. I expect to see him. I see a 3-headed monster here. But what you're not telling me is what is going to happen to Debo. What's going to happen to Scary Terry? What's going to happen with Ertz? They're going to come after Jaden. So either somebody's going to have to spy him or they're going to have to sack him because he's going to move and run. I would say who's the number 3 wide receiver in Washington, but right now, it doesn't matter. Noah Brown, I believe he's going to come back this week or next week. He will be the number 3. Tall guy. You could put him. I wouldn't put him in the slot because he's a tall, slower guy. But I would definitely consider number 3. I hope Christian McCaffrey, not Christian McCaffrey, Luke McCaffrey steps up and takes that number 3 receiver job. But how are you going to stop Debo? How are you going to stop Terry? How are you going to stop Ertz? And stop the run game. And stop Jaden with run and pass. They're going to blitz him like crazy. I just think Washington has too many weapons. Too many weapons on offense against that defense of the Giants. I think there's going to be a sack or 2 on both sides, but I got Washington winning this game. And I'm telling you, Austin Eckler had a very good game last time they played. He's a now leading tailback. I'd play him. At least in a flex position. At least. Let's move on. Next game. Tennessee and Denver. Look, folks know, if you watch this show, I do not like Cam Ward. The black on black hate is real. I'm just saying, I don't like Cam Ward because I don't like the way he carries himself. I didn't say I didn't like his talent. People mistake what I'm saying about him as just pure hate. No. He is talented, but he has a lot of mechanical flaws that he needs to adjust. Coupled with the attitude, I guess. I like a guy that you can be cocky, yes, but humble. Humble. You ain't got to yell at your teammates all the time or treat them like dirt to get the best out of them. That works Pee-wee, high school, college. Pros? No. I don't do it. And Denver, in my opinion, has the best defense in the NFL. Going against this young rookie with Calvin Ridley, with who's the other guy? Oh my gosh. He just left Seattle. Tyler Lockett. Decent. But it's a different style of quarterback he's got now. Tony Pollard's the running back. And you got, I believe, the kid Mullins or whatever as the backup. As Tajay Spears is on IR. The defense has been ready. Not the biggest Bo Nix fan, but I'm telling you, Bo Nix is going to have a hell of a game this game. You drafted him for a reason, start him in this game. Courtland Sutton, start him in this game. J.K. Dobbins, starting in this game. I think J.K. is going to get over 100. I really do. J.K. is getting over 100 yards. Hey, I want to thank Dan Carr, Rich Thorpe, and my friend Jabari Taylor checking in. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Sunday morning, y'all. Football. Let's get it. Let's get it. But in this game, I got Denver, man. They're in Denver. That defense is just phenomenal. And the young kid, Cam Ward, I expect 1 or 2 interceptions in this game. I really do. Will he get over 20 touchdowns passing this year? In one group, I said he is. I think he will. It's going to be close, though. Because he's going to make a lot of mistakes in these first couple games. And they're going to pull back the playbook a little bit. At least I think so. And we'll see what happens. He bets not have a big play and do something for the defense. That's taunting. And they're going to fight you just like your own teammate did. The defensive captain on your own team fought you. That's what I'm talking about, why I don't like Cam Ward. Everybody knows you don't touch the starting quarterback. You're the captain of the defense, and you put your paws on the starting quarterback. You fight him. That tells you a lot about how he is in practice with his own teammates. Talking trash is talking trash. So pushing, because that's what allegedly happened. He pushed him going downfield, and he taunted him. And he was already mad, so epic. Like I said, I got Denver. Next game, I talked about this at the top, about CMC. San Fran and Seattle. Some people are picking Seattle to win this game because it's in Seattle, divisional game. CMC may or may not play. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. CMC, yes, he's maybe got 2 or 3 years left, right? You don't trade for Brian Robinson Jr., who's a legit starting running back in this league, if you're not worried about CMC and you don't have the strongest of faith as in Isaiah Garendo, who has talent, but he's often injury prone. We saw that last year in his first year in the NFL and throughout the season, preseason. And then you draft James, who had a hamstring issue, and then breaks his thumb just after coming off of having a hamstring issue. Depth, yes. CMC with a calf injury started out this year last year. I drafted him in a couple of leagues, and I also had him as a keeper in another. I'm worried. But if you are worth your salt in fantasy, you know this. You know there's a chance. So you go out and you draft other running backs just in case. The team in my league called the Washington Commandos. They didn't draft CMC, but what they did was they drafted 3 straight running backs. Back to back to back. Back to back to back, yeah. If you get CMC in your draft, that has got to be a part of your plan. You have got to get top tier talent just in case he goes down. You play 2 and you can flex the other, or you can keep the other on the bench, or you can trade him. But I wouldn't trade him because you never know with CMC. I did something very similar. I drafted CMC, already had Jamar Gibbs, then I got Jalen Warren and Austin Eckler. Those are my 4 backs, right? You have a limit. Jalen Warren starts in Pittsburgh, you know they're going to run the ball. Jamar Gibbs is a top 5 fantasy talent. He was my keeper. And I got CMC. So if someone has CMC, I'm okay with Warren, Gibbs, and Eckler. I know they're in a timeshare, but I know they're productive, and I know they stay healthy. The problem I see here is, how many guys drafted Ricky Pearsall? You should, or you should have. And I suggest you go get Ricky Pearsall right now if he's on your waivers. Why? Because he is the #1 receiver in San Francisco. Jennings, questionable, gonna play. But Brandon Ayuk is down at least, allegedly, till 10. So who are they throwing the ball to? Ricky Pearsall. And our fun guy, Mr. Tight End Extraordinaire himself, George Kittle, and CMC. Now, let's flip it over. Seattle. Seattle did a complete overhaul of their offense. I'm going to get to that in a second. But their defense, ball hawking. Ball hawking. This is why people are picking Seattle to win this game. I'm not. I'm picking San Francisco. Why? I don't know if Walker's going to finish this game or if he's going to start this game. Zach Charbonnet is in line to have a pretty good workload this year, probably in this game. I'm going to be honest with you. If you drafted Walker, you're going to have to play him because he's your top running back, right? But you should have got his handcuff in Charbonnet. Or another running back that's decent. Same situation here with CMC. You get a guy that stays injured. Walker's been injured every year of his career. Contract year. He's going to have to stay healthy. Or if you watch the preseason, there are some studs waiting to take his place. Zach Charbonnet is one of them. I would literally, if I had Zach Charbonnet but not Walker, I'd put Charbonnet in my flex. I think he's going to get that many touches. Yep. Then let's look at this. I don't like Sam Darnold in this system, but I like Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba. PPR purposes. I didn't say to get touchdowns. I didn't say all this stuff. PPR purposes. Remember what Darnold did in Minnesota in the system he's familiar with, right? Justin Jefferson went 8 games without a touchdown. 5 of those games, or 6 of those games, under 100 yards receiving. It was the main threat. The secondary receiver, Addison, received everything. So who's the secondary receiver in this? Is it Jackson Smith and Jigba, or is it Cooper Kupp? I'm going to say it's Cooper Kupp. I expect Cooper Kupp to have a hell of a game. But I don't think San Fran loses it. I think it's going to be a close game, division game early in the season. I think it's a game by a field goal. Jake Moody for the 49ers. And some people might say, we don't play with kickers. This is why you play with kickers, man. Kickers are people too, and they give you points just as well. Sometimes they give you more points than your tight end. Hate them if you want to. But this is a game where I'm playing both kickers if I draft them. San Fran. Next game. Woo! Interesting. Detroit goes to Green Bay. Jordan Love just had a thumb issue on his left hand, which is, if he's under center, he's getting the ball this way. Got a whole bunch of receivers up and down. They got Josh Jacobs. A little bit better than average offensive line. Tucker Kraft. Will he be that guy that he needs to be at the tight end position? I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm going to wait and see on Tucker Kraft. But if he was your starting tight end that you drafted, you got to play him. Detroit does not play the tight end very well, by the way. They don't. But am I trusting Jordan Love in this game? With a fresh Aiden Hutchinson, who I am predicting to be the defensive player of the year. Aiden Hutchinson. Got him. You got him. And he starts today. On the flip side, Michael Parsons is now Green Bay Packers. I'm taking Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery and running directly at wherever Michael Parsons is to slow him down from pass rushing on Jared Goff. This is going to be a test. Now, when Penei Sewell came to the NFL, he was a left tackle in college, the best left tackle in college. They moved him to right, became one of the better right tackles in the game. Due to injury, he's been shifted to left tackle. Much like what happened in the Chargers. And did they touch Herbert? No, I'm telling you. This is his natural position. I think if they run, Penei Sewell's going to pick up Michael Parsons and just drive him like a sled. I'm telling you. Pop, 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 pop. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to see a lot of David Montgomery running the ball, playing. Jamar Gibbs running and catching the ball, playing. Of course you're playing. Amon-Ra St. Brown, of course you're playing. Sam Laporta, of course you're playing. Here's the big play. And I think he's probably going to lead them in receiving in this game. Jameson Williams stepped up last year. I think Jameson gets a $120 in this game. I do not like Green Bay secondary. Jair Alexander's now in Baltimore, right? So you got McKinney over there, who's a safety. And the corners are okay, but I just told you all the stuff they got to cover. Division game, yes, I got it. All these games are division games, except for Buffalo and the Ravens. Dude, watch it. Green Bay gonna get ran. They're gonna get ran. And the Packers just might miss the playoffs this year. Detroit begins their 13 or 14 win season this week. I got the Lions. Did I say the Rams? 40 and slip. I meant the Lions within their 13 or 14 game winning streak. I got the Lions. I got the Rams coming up. That's why I put my Rams. There's only two games that aren't division games. This is one of them. Houston and the Rams. Now look, on paper, this looks great, right? Awesome. The problem I see here, though, is Houston has too many problems. Nico Collins, great asset. Christian Kirk. If Christian Kirk didn't if he did not beat out the rookie receiver Higgins from Iowa, that tells me a lot. Joe Mixon is down. We don't even know if Joe Mixon is going to play this year. You got Nick Chubb coming off yet again another knee injury, but Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb. He's going to run the ball. Is he going to catch it? Probably not. So you're going to see a mixture of people. Not Alex Pierce. The running back Pierce. Olagandi. Too many backs back there, man. Too many mixes in there. Not enough short guarantees, and the offensive line has been revamped. The strength of Houston is their defense. That's the strength. Until we see CJ Stroud get connections with other players outside of Nico. Until we see the run game become effective. Until you see Tank Dell return and take the top off. Christian Kirk isn't taking the top off for nobody. He's a good, very, very good possession receiver and can go downfield, but he's an intermediate threat, not a deep threat. Okay? But again, the strong part of this team is their defense. It's going to sound weird me saying this, but I would play this defense. Even though I'm picking the Rams to win. The reason why I'm picking the Rams to win is because look, Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford. He knows Puka. He knows that team. The rapport between him and Devontae Adams is what's missing, right? We don't know what they've been doing, in practice and stuff. But I will say this. Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. Yes, Blake Corum. Pick him up and stash him. McVay said they're going to get Corum more involved. That tells me they're going to do a lot more running. One, to protect Matthew Stafford and whatever injury he has. Two, to set up play action with Devontae and Puka. Don't forget Higgins at tight end. And make a difference. Look, Matthew Stafford is an extremely good quarterback. He's exceptional when he has a good play action offense. When they won the Super Bowl, that's what they did a lot of. So if you're going to run Kyron into the ground, who you just beat, share that load a little bit. And look, Puka's going to get targets. Devontae, I would argue, is a slight upgrade from Cooper because Devontae stays healthy. Both can catch the ball, both run exceptional routes, both get in the end zone. I say Devontae gets maybe 4 or 5 receptions. Puka gets 6 to 7, right? Higgins gets, 3, 4? A lot of screens, but a lot of running. And that's enough to dismantle this Houston's defense, in my opinion. Because the Houston offense isn't going to be able to keep up. I got the Rams. Next game, Sunday night, is all right. We close the night out with the Ravens and Buffalo. Look. Let's keep it real. Keep it real. Josh Allen got that MVP last year because they didn't want to give it to Lamar back-to-back. Lamar statistically, every category, outperformed Josh, except head-to-head when they lost in the playoffs. The Ravens have Derrick Henry. Yes, you're going to play him. Of course, you're going to play Lamar. You're going to play Zay Flowers, but I have Zay Flowers as a level 2 receiver. So maybe you have a number one, but I got Zay as a number two receiver. But the connection, and I have this in several leagues, Lamar and Zay, it's going to happen throughout the game, but you have to add in the fact that Hopkins is there. Andrews is healthy, and Isaiah Likely is out. So you know Andrews is going to get the ball. The question is, how many times are you going to feed Hopkins? A real threat. Hopkins is out there on your waiver wire. If I were you and I had room, I'd stash him. Just to see how he gets used in this game. And if he doesn't get a lot of play in this week and next week, then drop him. But I think he's going to get a lot of traction. Him, Bateman, watch out for Bateman, and Flowers, that's nice when they go through receivers, and Andrews, but they're going to run that rock, y'all. They're going to run that rock. Josh, here's a guy I want y'all to look out for. Palmer. I like Palmer to become a budding star for Josh Allen. Keon Coleman will also explode this year. Shakir is going to be a security blanket. He's the actual number one. But I look for Coleman and Palmer to start becoming, hey, look at me, Josh. Dalton Kincaid in this game should do more than just block. Here's the thing. Will Cook run the ball more than 15 times in this game? We know he's going to get some receiving targets because Josh is going to, dump it down. They're going to run the screen or whatever. But to me, it comes down to Baltimore's defense, which I think is head and shoulders above Buffalo's defense. Matt Milano's back, and he's the general. They got Poyer back at his safety. Jordan Poyer knows that defense and knows Lamar. Tough match, man. Tough match. It's in Buffalo in fall, autumn, whatever you want to call it, and not in the snow. I'm giving it Baltimore. But I'm telling you, look out for Palmer on Buffalo. You might want to pick him up, and he might just have a good game this game. Jahir takes on Shakir. That's why Palmer and Coleman step up. I think this will be a 20-something game. If not more, it's going over 40 points. I don't know what the line is. Line might be like 45, something like that. I can see it going over 45. Definitely going over 45. I got Baltimore. Last game. And, I flip-flopped on this one game. Actually did. Because I was like, talk about Chicago, Minnesota. I love Minnesota's defense. I think they're a top 4 or 5 defense fantasy-wise. They had 2 players combined for 26 sacks last year. There's 2 players. And they're back in the system for the second time. Look. Justin Jefferson is a friend for Adam Thielen. Addison is gone, 3 games, due to his suspension. T.J. Hawkinson's back. They go out and get Jordan to back up Aaron Jones. And I love that. Great 1-2 punch. Offensive line got better. People forget they took pretty much Indianapolis guards. They literally took both guards and the center from Indy. And Indy was a very strong run team until Richardson got there. And then they're like, okay, we're going to try to do it. No. pound that rock. They took the interior offensive line to Indy, which helped Jonathan Taylor become a 1,000-yard rusher, even though the team sucked, and put him in Minnesota. That tells me Aaron Jones and George, they're going to be running the rock. Especially if Justin Jefferson has a hamstring issue. Adam Thielen will become a major player. T.J. Hockenson will as well. But J.J. McCarthy, he's a rookie. Essentially a rookie. Played in a couple preseason games, got hurt. But that was it last year. The Bears. Look, Allen, he's not a good head coach, but he's a damn good defensive coordinator. And I like what the Bears have on defense. Even though their starting middle linebacker, T.J. Edwards, I believe he's going to be out this game. Still got Tremaine Edmonds. Hopefully he shows up. But I don't know what to tell you. The Bears defense will be good for 4 to 5 games straight. But they'll be seeing a lot of snaps if the offense doesn't pick up what Ben Johnson is throwing down. So, let's say the Bears use all the same concepts as the Lions did last year. You can expect DJ Moore to have a monster game, monster season. You can expect Rome Odunze to have a great season, but you can expect those tight ends to also have a great season. DeAndre Swift and Johnson should have monster seasons. But they're going up against this defense that I love in Minnesota. The question is, will they be able to protect Caleb better this year? And will Caleb get rid of the ball or put the ball where it needs to be? Caleb was sacked a whole hell of a lot, y'all. And he overthrew or underthrew a lot of balls. And he made a lot of bad, boneheaded plays. But I put that on coaching. I don't know if Ben Johnson has gotten what he wants out of him. But we'll find out Monday night. I've got Chicago beating Minnesota to start 1-0. Because I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's going to do with the limited weapons in the passing game. But I know they're going to run the ball. If Minnesota comes out passing and it doesn't look that good because balls are either getting dropped or underthrown, overthrown, or whatever, it's going to be a long game. Long game. The idea is to tire out the Chicago Bears defense by smacking them in the mouth, softening that body up, and going for the kill shot later in the game. That would be my philosophy if I'm Minnesota. I don't know what they're going to do. That's Chicago. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that's going to end my predictions for week 1. Now I'm going to dig into something that I know a lot of folks might have some commentary on. Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. That fight happens at the end of this week. Saturday. AT&T Stadium. Bud Crawford. People are like, he's too small. He can't put Bud, put the weight on. I told you, Bud walks around at a decent clip. He drops a lot of weight to make the weight class to defend his titles and to fight other fighters. The question is Bud able to retain his speed and mobility because Canelo's a berserker? Canelo can box. Yes, he can box. And Canelo has power. But Canelo is not fighting any ordinary fighter. Or some of the people, he fought Miguel Cotto, he fought all these people. Uh, Triple G, got it. I think Bud Crawford is better than all of them. Now, when Canelo lost to Mayweather early in his career, and Mayweather was a strong defensive boxer. He wasn't fighting Canelo. He just pointed him. That's what I'm telling you is going to happen here. Crawford doesn't have to fight Canelo. Crawford just has to outpoint him. Will Bud want to knock him out? Hell yeah. Can Bud knock him out? I don't know. I know he's got power. I know he's a defensive fighter, much like Mayweather. I also know that he's a more physical, technical fighter than Mayweather. Bud Crawford, in my opinion, is going to go in there and win because it's Texas, a split decision. Some ref is going to give, or judge is going to give Canelo the fight, even though he doesn't actually win it. And two judges are going to give the fight to Bud because he outpoints him. Will there be a knockdown in the fight? I don't think there's going to be a major knockdown. I think you might see a slippage or two or a push. But it also depends on how Bud handles the power of Canelo and how Canelo handles the surprising power of Bud. Listen, man, y'all can sleep on Bud if you want. I like both fighters, but I believe Canelo is going to have to solve the enigma that's Bud. The shell defense, along with other defense and movement, is going to frustrate Canelo. I like Canelo because Canelo is a buzzsaw. Yes, he can fight technically, but when he gets frustrated, he's going full Wolverine berserker on you. And that's going to get him in trouble because he's going to get caught. And if Bud catches him, he's going to start to exploit those mistakes. I wish this was a 15-round fight, like back in the days, because I can see this like a Tommy Hearns Sugar Ray, or Hagler Hearns, or Hagler Ray, or Roberto Duran Sugar Ray, not the No Mas one, or Hearns and Duran, Hagler Duran. I can see that being this type of fight. And am I saying that I believe Bud's going to take the same philosophy as some of those fights like Sugar did? Where Sugar was like, the plan was to move around and in the last 20 seconds to 30 seconds of the round, steal points. Makes for a boring fight, but you win by points. If you got Netflix, why aren't you watching? College football, I got it. I'm a sports fan. I can watch college football during the day, watch the fight at night, or put it on split screen, whatever the main game is, and then boxing on the other. I got Bud taking out Canelo, and I know some of you guys on TikTok and YouTube and all, y'all gonna say what you gonna say. I got it. And some of you guys even bookmarked my previous comments. I'm ready. Bring them. Just bring it. Just well, Mr. FSP is me. It's good. All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time. Hope you enjoyed the show. Leave your comments and let me know. I'm gonna let you enjoy your NFL countdown or NFL game day, whatever it is you got going on, because that's what I'm gonna do as well. NFL is back, week 1 in the books. Let's go. I'll see y'all next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Peace.
Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember,
face.
because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?